And there we go guys, we are playing Amazing Spider-Man 2 on our Android devices. Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. In today's video, we'll be finally emulating the Amazing Spider-Man 2 on our Android devices, the original PC version. Right here is my device, Xiaomi 11T Pro, Snapdragon 888 processor and 8GB of RAM. Now this is indeed an flagship device, but it is actually almost 3 years old now, pretty outdated, and the device which I have in the side is my OnePlus 11 with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, which we won't be using for today's video because as you might have seen in my last video, MoBox Emulator isn't really well optimized for Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or above, so it has lot of graphical issues. With that being said, Snapdragon 888 is the best thing that we can conjure for now. Let's just go ahead and type MoBox and start the emulator. And I would also like to show you guys the settings which I am working with. To start off DynRX settings, as you see right here, my current configuration is 415. Other than that, every other setting is default. So let's just go ahead and head back and start our Vine. I would also like to tell you guys that I am using the latest version of MoBox Simulator, and let me show you guys the graphics driver and other stuffs which we will be using for our today's testing. So if we just head on over to the start bar, and here you'll be able to read that I am using the DXVK asynchronous version 1.10.3 along with Turnip Sync version 4. So these are very important. You will have to make sure to have an Adreno GPU Android device and also at least 6 to 8 GB of RAM if you also want to emulate PC games. Let's just go ahead and launch the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and see how well does it actually work. At the top left corner we have the usual statistics like the FPS. By the way, MoBox uses Vulkan, that's why we'll get better FPS than Emulator or anything else. DXVK, Turnip as well as GPU usage is also present. Now as you know, you can either control the games using an wireless keyboard or with on-screen touch controls. For on-screen touch controls, I already have Input Bridge loaded onto my Android device. So let's just go ahead and open Input Bridge and go back to Amazing Spider-Man. And right here at the top right corner, you will see an settings icon. After we click on it, we'll get the on-screen touch controls. Now the touch controls are of very less opacity, so let me just go ahead and zoom in, and immediately you'll be able to notice that there are no graphical issues whatsoever, unlike what I would get if I tried emulating it on my OnePlus 11. So let's just go ahead and start a new game as Hero. Obviously the FPS which we'll get in this game will be very less, but the thing about Windows emulation on Android is that it is really well optimized for Adreno 6 series GPUs and not so well for Adreno 7 series GPU. Anyways, let's just go ahead and start the game. And there we go guys, the beginning cutscene is right here. We can see that our FPS is around 12 to 20 FPS, which is not that great if I am being honest guys. Let's just go ahead and skip this cutscene. And there we go guys, Amazing Spider-Man 2 has successfully started. We are getting almost 6 to 7 FPS while emulating it on a Snapdragon 888 processor Android device. But let me show you guys how you can actually improve this FPS in some games, not this specific game, but a great tip which I'd like to give you guys is that if you just go ahead and open any game, go to game settings, then make sure to decrease the game's graphics resolution as well as graphics quality, texture quality. Just make sure that the game is at its lowest resolution possible so that you get the best amount of performance. Anyways, just take a look at these graphics guys. We are emulating one of the best Spider-Man games ever released for console and PC, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Well, let's start the same game on a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor Android device. Let's just go ahead and continue the game and see how well does it actually work. Immediately you'll notice the flickering issues. Obviously, as I mentioned before, this Windows emulator for Android is not that optimized for Adreno 7 series GPU. Anyways, there we go, the game has successfully started, and you'll also notice that there are graphical issues along with low FPS. So in my complete honest opinion, from the results which we are seeing right here, Windows emulation on Android isn't really only flagship device thing. You can emulate it on any Adreno 6 series GPU Android devices. As far as I know, Snapdragon 870 processor should be the best processor present for amazing performance as well as no graphical issues whatsoever while emulating these PC games on Android. And for some reason, this game on OnePlus 11 looks way better than on my 11T Pro. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification, and comment down below which game should I test out next on my Android devices. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.